chillest ever day where there is leftovers in the fridge, there's no cooking, there's no nothing. It's just the chill day. Jason's gone for a walk, which he's been waiting to do for all week. I don't know where he's gone. He tells me these places where he's going, but he thinks I can't remember their names, which I can't. So then he tells me the name of it, but like in a funny way. So I can't remember where he went, but there's just somewhere in Wales where we've gone, which I call Betty's White Cone, which is not Betty's White Cone. Betty's Cone, I don't know what it's called. So yeah, Betty's White Cone, we've been there. And then he went somewhere that he told me was called Nescafe Gold Blend, I think he called it. I don't know where that is. Don't know. Somewhere. He went somewhere for a walk and it sounded like Nescafe, so now he's in Nescafe Gold Blend, which is obviously a brand. Anyway, today I'm thinking dressing gown. Made me think that how many times I've made this now fits really well. Oh, I forgot about that gathering around the neckline. Anyway, fits really well. So I was thinking I could use the pattern because back's fine, bodice, the skirt, all I would need to do is lengthen this to a much longer length. And then the sleeves fit the bodice fine, and I really, really like their four little darts. Fabulous. Skirt with the seam up the front. Also would just have to lengthen, because I'm thinking one of the problems with a wrap dressing gown is that you have to keep on readjusting, whereas if I did a centre front zip somehow, of which there is already a seam in here, that would work really well. And then if I lengthen the sleeve, going over to my illustration, so if I do the sleeves that are on here, omit the little pleat that's on the hem there, which will make it wider, then lengthen them to full length, and then just put in a strip of elastic so you can literally just shove your arm through, which would be based upon this, the Whitmore's Bishop sleeve, because that's just a long tube which is then cinched in. So I was thinking that might work. And then the only thing that I really have to fiddle with is the front bodice. So I could use this front bodice because it does fit me, and there's a waist. I've added waist darts here, bust darts. So that half as is, and then all I have to fiddle with is that top portion, which I was thinking I could steal the collar and neckline off of this one. So it's already, I'd need to take a teensy bit off, cut a teensy bit off there, because it's got the overlap and I don't need the overlap, I need it to be a zip. And then I could have that collar, and I've got two of this already, so I could actually try it on and pin the collar how I would like it. I quite like it large though, to be honest. And this would give me the opportunity to embroider. Now, the slippers that I have, do you call it swash? Swash? Anyway, it's a chain stitch which goes wibbly, 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 wibbly all over the fabric. So, I mean, that's just a rough drawing of that collar. And that would tie into the slippers that I got for Christmas. And I could do that in a matching pink thread, which has like a bit of a satiny feel. They always have a bit of a satiny feel, the embroidery flosses. So that would probably be the most elegant solution. And then I was thinking, pockets, I'm not sure. I haven't made the pockets from the Bella before. They're a bit much. Or I could just go with an inseam pocket, just, one here, which you can't see. But I thought patch pockets, they are nice. Yeah, so there's lots of things. I don't have to make all the decisions at once. I'll just draft all the things, and then things like the embroidery I can think of. It would be nice to have some colour. So we've got that pale pink. It's worth thinking about. Sorry, that was the first draft. I was just messing around. So I think this is what we're kind of going for not to the floor. Don't want to kill ourselves. Zip in the front. And then, I don't know, to be confirmed with the embroidery. It's just some brainstorming. Cheeky late breakfast. I was waiting for Jason to come back from his walk, but you snooze, you lose. There's the tiniest splash of Prosecco in that orange juice. And I'm going to sit and watch the Larkins. You want to watch it in your high chair? No, she's busy. That girl's got stuff to do. Yeah, oh, I love the mum. So she's the reason I watch it. She's so saucy. She's so saucy. I want to be like her when I'm a grown-up. Naughty and saucy. Starting off with the sleeve. So I've grabbed my tea dress sleeve. So I've just copied it exactly. I added a little bit on the bicep there when I made my version. I copied it off exactly and then added a whole load of length. And then I thought it was a little teensy bit narrow and I wanted it a straighter look. You can see the really faint line here. I've kind of partially rubbed out, so that was just a continuation. That was a continuation of the original line, and then I just added a little bit extra, and I've added all the seam allowances in too. Anyway, much longer than it needs to be for now, but it's just a start. Well, this was the piece I was a little bit apprehensive of, and I think I've done it. What have I got here? Right, let me get these sorted. Alright, so this is my traced off Bella front bodice that I used. I think I did a few alterations to the original, so that's my copy. And I've literally just copied it off exact onto the paper underneath. And then I added my seam allowance on the centre because that's cut on the fold and I want it to be able to have a seam in the front. So that's all done, and I've made sure to very clearly marking this seam allowance here. Then I've used another pattern which is this Butterick one, Butterick B5892, which I've used before, and I've lined up I've made the size 14 here, so I've lined up these dots with that seam allowance and copied the collar off, and then I wanted the collar to match this centre panel, so this line here, so I just kind of did it by eye. I actually only ended up needing to just like whack a little bit of extra on, and I did it kind of evenly. So I think all of this here is all copied off, and there's the little dart underneath, and I could have done the collar there exact, but I just felt like if I curved it away it would look a bit weird, so instead I added extra. I don't know, sometimes I do things just on the fly, just by eye. So this is now a bodice front panel, and then you make this little dart here, and then this flaps back to be a really big collar. I'm on the fence as to whether to twirl. To twirl or not to twirl, that is the question. Actually, the answer is always do a twirl. But I really just want to get going with this. I might lay it on the mannequin just to see it in paper, and just pin it, just the bodice. I know the back is going to be fine. I know the sleeves are going to fit the bodice, and I did have to make a teensy amendment to the bodice back, just like the back neckline, just so it matched what I had actually done. I have used the 2 patterns before, only I never used them together. So this could be a mistake. Also, we'll need to make a facing, and then the facing for the collar is the part I will embroider. I might do like a little sample of that soutage, that chain stitch wibbly wobbly line. See if I like it. I kind of wanted to do something floral because I like embroidering flowers, but seeing as I made it to go with I would want it to go with those slippers. It would look very nice matching. You see, this is the problem when you make things. It's too many options. Too many options. But yeah, it's coming out nicely. It's taken me about 2 hours to trace everything off. I just have one last piece to trace, which is the front skirt, and then I think we're done. Facing, I'll do, if I do a toile, I won't face it because I just want to check that oh, maybe I make the collar smaller. Oh, we'll see. Let me pin up the mannequin. I just wanted to see the collar, and it doesn't sit nicely because it's paper, and because this dart would need to be sewn in, and then you have to like cut up to that dot to then manipulate the back of the collar round. But you can kind of roughly see the proportions. I like that I can do a zip and I can go up as high as I want with that zip. Maybe I'll do an I like an invisible zip. And then the zip would be at that line, so that will be seam allowance. I think I quite like the collar, quite generous. I could take off that there and fade it to nothing, which would be a little bit more dainty, but I think big collars. Yeah, let's go with a big collar. I don't think I'm going to do a toile. I think I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. Throw caution to the wind. And yeah, looks awful as paper, but I can kind of, I just wanted to check that wasn't going to do something like really weird and the collar was going to sit in like a completely odd direction. But no, I'm happy with that. I don't know where the time has gone. It is the 29th already. I just got back from a quick walk into town. I had to pop into this shop, Warhammer, whatever, for some presents, which was hilarious. I just went in with my little list. I was like, hello, I've got a boys' Christmas list here, and I need some blood paint, please, and I need this brush and that brush, and you know exactly what I was talking about. And I need some skulls. Got the skulls. Very exciting. Anyway, those are my last Christmas gifts bought on the 29th. But I'm going to visit my uncle and aunt tomorrow, and I've got, you know, a few little bits and pieces for him. Coin thing, the brushes, palette book. I think you just throw them away. Water pot, that's quite cool actually, because you can like run your paintbrush in here and it kind of takes the water off, and it's got like ridges on the inside so that as you're using it. Anyway, I think in that shop they must do classes or something, because they had this really long table set up and they had loads of these pots that were like quite dirty inside with like water and brushes and like, half finished projects, so they must do something fun. I was hoping when they would visit that I could book him to do something, but you know, COVID, everything was closed, so never mind, maybe next time. I did get myself a few, not from that shop obviously, what would I want with that? But I needed 2 invisible zips to replace zips that I have burst open. So those are going to be replaced. Not now. Not now. The day before I want to wear them, obviously, in a panic. And then I got a plain zip for my dressing gown I'm going to make. I don't know if it's quite long enough, but I think it is. goes past my hips, and I think it's going to go to about there. And then the collar will come out. That's great. And now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this ribbon is too pale. Never mind. This is the yarn for my Whitmore, and I was going to put that inside of the button band, but now I'm thinking it's too pale. I feel like if you're going to put a button band inside like a strengthening ribbon, I kind of feel like darker rather than lighter. It's also completely the wrong tone. Never mind, it's actually a really cute colour, so I will, even if I only use that for like a gift wrap, it wasn't expensive. And I've got 2 different types of ribbon for my Susie just for the shoulder, so it's the same as this construction. You knit the back and then you pick up stitches here and knit the front. So I thought I could stitch in some ribbon on the inside. I anticipated that I would want this, but then when I was there and I was looking at them, I suddenly thought, ooh, like that's not really holding very much, whereas I could get a better grip on it with that thicker. I mean, it's still a super thin ribbon. I just thought that one's neither here nor there really, and that one I could do a row of hand stitching on either side, and I could probably, yeah, that's probably more what you need. This one would be good if I was sewing something out of jersey. There is often a stay tape when you make things with jersey. Often in the shoulder there is a ribbon in the seam allowance, which you probably would never have noticed that it was there, but sometimes it is there. When you buy them, or when you buy a garment, or if you've made them, and if you look in the instructions, that sometimes is included. And this is just big enough just to do a row of stitching in the middle. So yeah, this won't go to waste if I don't use it. Either one won't go to waste. I bought 1 meter of each, just in case. Don't need this to keep it. Ooh, mainly, I wanted to show you my progress on my Whitmore. So I've got my beautiful bag, the yarn. Can't believe I bought the wrong colour ribbon. This is the problem. I should always bring swatches. Okay, Jason playing with Lida upstairs. So, how good is that looking? Obviously that's back to front because the neckband does go in the front, but just so you can see, it's coming together really, really nicely. Oh, so nice. And I forgot how much yardage you get. Like this, I'm still on the first ball of each, and I've still got loads left on it. So I can't see any mistakes, so don't point them out, because if I see a mistake I have to pull back. I've looked and looked and looked and I just can't see any mistakes. It's the maraschino colourway, and which reminds me, I'm going to knit on this while drinking a Snowball. Well, I hope I'm going to be drinking a Snowball. Can you buy someone a present and then expect them to share it with you? That's quite rude, isn't it? Oh well. So I was having a look in this cocktail book, which my aunt got me years ago, vintage cocktails. The woman who wrote it is very funny. Amanda Halley is a writer, cultural historian, trained analyst. She's a professor at leading Manhattan College, where she teaches courses in history, writing and fashion. Not sure where she's from. Oh, and David Wolfe, who's he? Is he the illustrator? Oh well, whatever. So I wanted to pick a cocktail to give them, and it made me think of a really granny drink, which most people probably don't even know. It's called the Snowball. It's Advocaat, which is kind of that alcoholic custard. Sounds gross. Lime, lemonade, and a maraschino cherry. Once upon a time, in a former empire far, far away, Great Britain, there was a class of people who were known to the richer, better educated people as the commoners. These simple folk who dropped their H's almost as often as their knickers didn't really go in for cocktails as we have come to understand them in this book. They preferred pints, lager, bitter or stout. The closest they got to a truly classic cocktail was a Bacardi and Coke at provincial nightclubs with names like Tuxedo Junction, the Big Apple or Spats. Yet amid their soccer hooliganism, their Yorkshire puddings and their holidays to Costa del Sol and their perpetual penchant for electing right-wing governments made up of people who had been to Eton, the British lower classes managed to come up with their very own cocktail, and this cocktail is the Snowball, or at least it used to be. Nobody drinks them anymore. The cocktail reaching its heyday in the late 60s, early 70s, when it would be served far too warm in the dusty bar of seedy hotels in seaside towns like Blackpool. Blokes buying it for birds in the hopes that a couple of snowballs would mean they'd be having it off, while Benny Hill cavorted on a black and white TV. All this awfulness taken as completely understood. The irony of the Snowball is that it's absolutely delicious. No wonder these lowlives loved it. A frothy, creamy and embarrassingly yellow concoction. It is embarrassingly yellow. It is very yellow. That's both incredibly sweet, incredibly bitter. The Snowball assaults the taste buds like an Arsenal supporter on a Tottenham Hotspurs fan. That is the best description ever. It's absolutely hilarious. My gosh. 2 ounces of Advocaat, the cheapest alcohol available at duty-free shops, frequented by British holidaymakers. That is not true. It's actually very expensive. 1/2 ounce of lime syrup. 5 ounces of 7-Up. What we call 7-Up, the British call lemonade. The British don't have lemonade in the sense that we Yanks understand it. Ooh, she's an American. How does she know so much about this, if she's American? That's very interesting. Add the lime syrup. Oh, I didn't buy lime syrup. I bought lime juice. Oh, we'll make the syrup. I know how to make syrup. Oh, so how yellow. That's not the bottle. That's clear glass. That's the colour. With the maraschino cherries. And I'll be knitting on my maraschino yarn. Oh dear, I bought lime juice, but never mind. I'll just microwave some water and sugar together until it's like dissolved, and then I'll add a bit of the lime. And I got the lemonade. That's a good present, isn't it? Oh, plus. I happen to have some of these in the cupboard, so I thought a couple of brollies. And I have been watching The Darling Buds of May. I started off by watching The Larkins, which is this new TV show. And it was pretty good. I liked Ma. She was a bit saucy, a bit naughty. She's so cheeky and funny, and I love her outfits. She's a good character. But I didn't love the TV show. Don't get me wrong. I watched all of it in one go, and then watched the Christmas special on Christmas Day. Then I was thinking, oh, it's based on The Darling Buds of May. I wonder if it's on somewhere to watch. Found it on the ITV player. 2 days later, have watched the entire thing. I love it. Ma. I thought the other Ma was good. She's the mother character. Her name's Ma. Well, that's not her real name. It's like mum, mother, Ma. She is fabulous. When I grow up, I'm going to be just like Ma. Just like Ma. I want some garish outfits. I want to be cooking too much frivolous food. All of her outfits are like really low cut and a bit racy. And she's so funny. It's just so funny. And they sit in the bathtub quite often, her and her husband, with this like table in between. Eating, not like a few like little nibbly bits. No, no, no. Like full on, like grabbing like a leg or something. Like you can't eat a roast dinner. And then sometimes they'll like drop something in the bath and she'll just like pick it out and just put it on the side. It's so awful. All that to say, they like an advocaat, a Snowball, advocaat and lemonade. So as I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, I definitely need to get that present. So anyway, oh, it's so heavy. So I got that all packed away. I got a box of biscuits. Just need to wrap. I'm not going to bother wrapping their thing. Oh, my maraschinos. Anyway, I just thought I'd do a little chatty bit. What am I doing today? Other than knitting on this gorgeous cardigan. And do you know what I love about this colour? It's got that glow to it that's just a little bit, I don't like garish, like tacky, but I love it. It's just got that like, oh, it's not like an elegant, classy colour. It's fun and it's vibrant and it's exciting, and that is what I'm really loving about this knit. So I don't often knit with like super colourful. I've got like a lot of pastel-y things. I've got a lot of like basic things. Red is another basic colour for me. But this is just so much fun, and I feel like I want to clash it with some emerald green, or like put this on top of a very pastel-y outfit and then boom, boom, matches the nails. I need to pack today. I have never packed. Actually, I have packed for the baby. When she was a baby, we went and stayed with my uncle and aunt for 2 nights, and I went on the train on my own. That was rubbish. This time we're driving, so I can pack that car full of as much baby things as I want. And I'm going to bring some handmade outfits. I'm going to weave in the black one I made of this with the polo, the long neck. I'm going to weave in those ends. I'm not going to block it. I'm just going to wear it as is with my pink skirt, which I'm wearing. I might just nip the waist in a teensy bit. So I've been wearing this yesterday and today, and it's very difficult with a skirt. With a dress, if I go a little bit too loose, I feel it's fine. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really like move around, and if it's a bit loose, just whack a belt on the waist. I'm happy with that. Problem with skirts is I don't know, they kind of move, they kind of lift up and down. I feel like I'm like adjusting myself, but it's very difficult because when I'm sitting, I'm filling that space. But when I'm standing, I've got extra. So it's difficult to say, really. I did put this waistband on twice. The first time it was much smaller. The second time I kind of stretched the skirt out a little bit to fit onto a bigger waistband. And yeah, this is what I'm ending with now. I think maybe I just live with it being a little bit looser, because it's just so comfortable when you're sitting. I am used to sitting down and feeling like I'm being cut in half by a waistband, so this is new territory for me. I know I've talked for too long. I'm going to make salmon and eggs again. Salmon and eggs and Bucks Fizz has been this Christmas's main theme. I still got my tablecloth on. I'm just so thrilled with all these little bits and pieces I bought for Daniel. He's going to really be happy. That's what I want to do, make a little boy happy. He's not little anymore, he's 12, nearly 13. Okay, I have taken photos of these pages and I'm going to print them out. And I'm going to slip that in. I can't believe I didn't read the recipe. It said lime, so I just bought lime. Sharpened zingy lime. To be honest, I think it's quite sweet. I reckon just like a little in there would be more than enough. I don't think it needs to be lime syrup. And I usually drink it without the lime, to be honest. Oh, I just feel so excited. I don't know why. The reason I've continued with the vlogs, which I don't know when I'm going to edit and put these things together, but maybe even in January. The reason I've continued filming is because I feel like that time between Christmas and New Year's is a little bit people love it. They love this kind of like slower pace. I'm not a massive fan. Everything's closed. Like, it's really difficult to find things to do, in where I live anyway. This shop was open for all these little bits for Daniel, but I mean, I walked through, nearly all the shops were closed. I tried to get reservations to go somewhere. Nope, closed. I thought, let's go for some National Trust properties on our way to this, on the way to the holiday home that we're staying in. Closed. You can go to the grounds to see like the gardens and things, but the houses are closed. Well, that's rubbish. Just walk around the garden. I like to go in the house, and then I like to go in the restaurant. To have something to warm you up after walking around the gardens. But we managed to find somewhere which is quite close to the house we're going to visit, and I'm going to take photos. I think tomorrow I'm going to wear my beret. I'm going to wear my black roll neck. I need to remember to put my gold locket on because I love that gold locket with my mum's picture in. I'm going to wear this skirt, black tights, and I mean, I would wear it with black high heels, but if we're going walking, no. And we're having an event evening for New Year's, which is, what was the theme? It was casino theme. My aunt said she's bought an inappropriately aged dress. She means that she thinks she's too old for the dress, which is not the case. I think she said it was a bit raunchy or something. It won't be. I know my aunt, it won't be. It's not going to be at all. Bless her. And I don't really have any party dresses. I've pulled one out. I don't know if it's really appropriate. It was a summer dress that I made for someone's wedding, and it's a copy of a dress that Marilyn Monroe wore in 7 Year Itch. She walks in with this, it's like got a halter neck kind of cut out, it's white, black polka dots, it's got this kind of triangle bit in the front, and she kind of wiggles in. I think she's carrying a fan and a big black packages. Anyway, she looks fabulous, of course. I made it to wear to a wedding and I loved it. I haven't really worn it since. I tried it on today. It fit. It fit. Maybe I'll just wear it because it fit. I was so impressed with myself. Not that I've done anything. Oh, does she wear it with little white gloves? Maybe I could wear it with the little white gloves. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm very excited to have something to do for New Year's. And hopefully I'll be sipping on an Advocaat lemonade. Snowball. I feel like it is a very grandma drink. I didn't realise that it was a commoner's drink. But then I am a commoner. I'm not an upper class person. I am a commoner, and my dad is a commoner. I'm happy being a commoner. I'm going to keep knitting on this evening. I've got one last little chart to do, which is a couple more rows, I don't know, 10 or so more rows or something. I almost bought the buttons for it, which thank God I didn't, because seeing as I bought the ribbon the wrong colour. But they were glittery. They were glittery. Didn't buy them. Didn't buy them because they only had 4 buttons, and clearly I'm going to need more than 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just count them on my other one because I've actually made one. There's probably 10 buttons. So 4 buttons, not enough. Anyway, salmon and eggs first. I have cut out my dressing gown. I'm going to do a bit of sewing today on it. Can you believe I went all the way to the shop to buy all this silliness? Forgot the embroidery floss to make a sample. Maybe I've got something that will work just as a sample, and then I can get the right colour later on. You kind of want to see it with the right colour. Anyway, wittering away, tidy, salmon and eggs. Okay. Anyway, I just thought it would be nice for everyone to have something kind of to watch, something a little bit crafty, and maybe I can split this into 2 videos. See you later. The adventure begins. We're at Hardwick. It's a National Trust property. And yeah, I did my ball winding on the way. I've got a couple of projects. And we're going to go and photograph my new skirt. And my new knitwear, which is frankly slightly see-through. Never mind, if it's cold enough to wear a polo neck, it's cold enough to wear a little black vest underneath it, so never mind. Hopefully no glowing boobies for the footage that I'm going to take for the podcast. But yeah, can you see that in the background? Some little housey bits. Hey Lala, are you all cosy? Yeah, you're cosy. Oh, and I got my little ascot scarf and my beret, ready, raring to go. Anything you want to say? No? You're cute.